Well, I think it taps into the deepest thing in us. I think it taps into, I think the arts tap into the individual spirit and the individual creativity inside every one of us. For the first months, maybe even the very first few years of life, we're very attached to family of necessity. But even as we remain realistically attached to our family and our home, inside us there's an individual imagination that is growing. No two children ever looked at the color blue and saw the same color. I'm convinced. It's filtered through who you are and through your mood and through your spirit and how it fits into the big mosaic that's going to be your life. And only you can build that mosaic. Only you can figure that out. And the arts, there are many other creative fields in the world. All other worthwhile pursuits are creative in nature, not just the arts. We call them the creative arts, but all worthwhile human endeavor is creative because you're putting something into the world that wasn't there before you put it there. But I think the arts are the one that are most attached to our individual, whimsical, eccentric imaginations. The artistic imagination or the creative imagination is at one end of the spectrum. At the other end of the spectrum are the rules and regulations that get you through life, is the pragmatic, the practical things that will get you through life. And you need all of that and everything in between. But you need to have that part of you that's inside you, that organ inside you, which is the organ of imagination. It needs feeding, it needs stimulation in order for you to remain you most fully and not just a part of the machine that is a society. We have to spend our time being cogs in one another's wheels and everything for a whole social system to work. And we know that, and we can't have absolute freedom and live strictly according to indulging our own whims for the way we want to be. But if you don't bring into that society an absolutely unique personality, spirit, and attitude and intention of your own, then what is your gift? What are you bringing into the system? I don't think it's right that all we bring into the system is a willingness to go along with the rules and the regulations. We need to bring in something livelier than that. And I think the liveliest part of us is what we can imagine, is our imaginations, because there are absolutely no fetters on that. There's no limit, there are no rules, there are no regulations about what we can imagine. Therefore, to me, that's the truest part of ourselves. And I just want to say, I think it's not just imagine. I think it feels like we're imagining things, but it's also very tied to intuition. It's tied to what even very young children intuitively know about life, death, light, dark, warm, cold, things to which they're drawn, things from which they are pushed away. I think the message is there in the natural world about the best way to live, but the greatest access we have to it is through our intuition and our imagination. And that's the absolutely unique part of each one of us, is that there's nothing very unique about where I buy my clothes or, where I went to school or what my favorite food is or anything. That those are conditioned responses.